Hi, good afternoon, and I'd like to welcome you to Poem Praise 2. And we are now in Which Way to Freedom, the Underground Railroad. We're going to do 22 through 25. And as I said before, and certainly before I get started, peace and blessings be upon you and your family this day. We are going to continue. The next question I have is, who was Harriet Tubman? Here is a picture, and as you see, there are inscriptions next to each picture. I am going to start with the inscriptions next to the pictures. Harriet Tubman became an anti-slavery speaker at abolition meetings. Sometimes she was introduced as Harriet Garrison to protect her from bounty hunters looking for fugitives. After the Civil War, Harriet Tubman settled in Auburn, New York, where she helped raise money for the education of formerly enslaved people. She also opened the Harriet Tubman Home for the Aged. Tubman lived to be 90 years old. Now, during the Civil War, Harriet Tubman became the first American woman to lead an armed raid into enemy territory. To us mothers of civilization, she led an army into enemy territory. Now, who was Harriet Tubman? Harriet Tubman was born into slavery. Her family was the property of Maryland plantation owner. After 2 years of her sisters were sold and taken away in chains. Their cries filled Tubman's nightmares. When Tubman was in her late 20s, a man from Georgia came to town to buy slaves. Tubman suspected she'd been sold, which meant she would never see her family again. So she ran, escaping alone and on foot through Delaware to the free state of Pennsylvania. Tubman settled in Philadelphia and found work. She was free, but not happy. How could she be? Her family was still enslaved in Maryland. Tubman vowed to help them escape north, and she did. First, she led one of her sisters' families to freedom. Then, one of her brothers and some friends. So it started out small with her sister. Then she moved on to one of her brothers, plural, and some friends. Start out small and gradually, but surely got bigger, got larger. The passion, the desire, the seed and some friends, her elderly parents, and many groups of strangers. Tubman put her own life at risk by returning to the South at least 13 times. She refused to let her passengers turn back. Tubman was known to pull a gun on fugitives who wanted to give up the journey. Dead men tell no tales. Tubman would say, "You go on or die." For over a decade or so, the famous Underground Railroad conductor led more than 70 people out of slavery. She became known as Moses and claimed, "I never ran my train off the track and I never lost a passenger." Harriet was both fearless and sly. She fooled people hunting fugitives by acting like a helpless old lady. Few suspected that she was helping so many people escape slavery. She was never caught, and once the Civil War began, Tubman used her skills as a scout and spy for the Union Army. Next, did Underground Railroad workers get into trouble? And here is a picture. Anyone aiding a fugitive was considered a criminal. That included station masters, conductors, and other workers on the Underground Railroad. Punishment depended on the color of your skin and where you were caught. In the North, people convicted of helping runaways had to pay businesses to debt. Had to pay large fines and repay slave holders for their stolen property. Station Master Thomas Garrett lost his businesses to debt because of fines. But he was unapologetic, saying, "I haven't a dollar in the world, but if thee knows a fugitive who needs a breakfast, send him to me." Now earlier, when I actually did this on Facebook, I thought about that in regards to having a dollar in the world, but if he knows a fugitive who needs a breakfast, send him to me. I thought that as being in reference to like some compassion, or maybe in reference to you didn't have no money, but you feeding. But now that I'm reading it, now I'm thinking to myself, now, you lost your businesses to debts because of fines. Okay. So now all of a sudden, you want to be a help and feed. In regards to if you're hungry. So in regards to, I'm going to give you some food. And since I fed you, what can you do for me? I done gave you some food. You're starving. You're hungry. Discipline of eating to live. Almost like dominoes, all money ain't good money. All food ain't good food, depending on what they putting in the food. What you putting in that food? What you cooking up in the kitchen? What you trying to give me like it's good, but it may not be good. You may think it's good for me, but it may not be to my good in regards to what you trying to feed me. Ain't been trying to feed me. So now you want to feed me all of a sudden? All of a sudden you hungry? You want something to eat? I got food for you. Be certainly aware who you're around and how they want to feed you. if they haven't wanted to feed you before. Anyway, back to the book. Punishment was stiffer in the South. Anyone aiding a fugitive could be convicted of kidnapping and theft of human property and could end up in prison for many years. Samuel Smith was a shoemaker who helped nail Henry Box Brown into his crate. Smith later got caught shipping other fugitives and spent 7 years in prison for it. Underground Railroad workers caught giving runaway weapons could be executed. But punishments handed out to those aiding runaways were nothing compared to what happened to fugitives if they were captured. These troublemakers could expect to be sold downriver, meaning they were sold to huge plantations in the Deep South, where conditions were harsher and enslaved people were said to be worked to death, just as they could with a horse or a house. Worked to death. Work so hard you die? Just as with a horse or a house. So comparing a human being to an animal to a house. Property. Slaveholders could do whatever they wished with their human property, too. They had the law on their side. It clearly stated that enslaved people were property. Slaveholders could even kill enslaved people. It was the unusual punishment in many places for trying to run away. Plantation owners and overseers wanted to make examples of runaways. So they whipped, branded, beat, and even hanged runaways. You could take this into a whole nother concept, because that's what I'm thinking about. Running away from a lie to the truth. All the ones still believing in the lies instead of truth. Generations and generations of how they've been raised. We have generations that's here today. There's certainly other nationalities that have generations that's here today. Certain teachings that have been passed down and passed down. So follow me here. They had the law on their side. They wished. Now, slaveholders could do whatever they wished with their human property. And I'm going to end it on that note. But almost like, okay, playing chess, we got to figure out our next move for real. Now, I'm going to give you a preview. What's coming up next in this book is, what was life? What was life like with freedom? I want you to be blessed until I hear from you again, and I will talk with you real soon. Until then, certainly keep your head up, and I'll talk to you later. All right, y'all.